Hi guys, in this tutorial, we're going to discuss about Dicom and how to write Dicom header to CSV in Python code. Please take note, installation of Python and virtual environment won't be discussed in this topic. So now, without any further ado, let's get started. To start with, we're going to understand first what are the things we need for writing a Dicom files to CSV. So I'm going to use our first example from the first series. I'm going to run this one by file.1. Okay. In this example, focusing on this part here. So take note, the target is we're going to extract all this information. As you can see, we have a bunch of files here, groups, which is the first one, second one, third, fourth, and the fifth one. So we need to extract all this file and save this all information in CSV. So, okay, so let's start. To start, we're going to create a new file. First, we need to close this one. We need to create a new file. This time will become file 5.py. The first thing we need to do is to clear this file content here. Good. Okay, the first thing we need to do is we need to import CSV. Then we're going to import our PyDicom. Then okay, that should be the first one. So the next one is we need to read the PyDicom. So let's say we do this as Dicom. So in here, I'm going to Dicom dot DCM read. So we're going to read the Dicom files. So for this one, I'm going to test one Dicom. So let's say this one. This is D0001.DCM. Okay, so our target is to test only one file first. Now we need to proceed of writing a CSV file. So the name of the CSV is my CSV. That's the name of the file, and with the property of write, and going to insert a new line equals to empty as CSV file. Okay, next, we need to call a variable, or we need to call the writer. With that, we're going to write here CSV dot writer, then going to write the CSV file. Okay, the first thing we need to do is we need to write first the header. To do that, we need to go to the writer, right? So take note, I mentioned that there were 4 groups. So I'm going to group that into first is group, second is the element, third is the description, next we can call that as BR, and the last one is the value. Okay, so then we're going to split that. Split. Okay, so that is will be split into each column. Okay, the next thing we need to do is we need now to read the Dicom files. To do that, we need to call a for loop for lm in ds, which is the Dicom file. Then we need to write dot rows writer dot write row. Okay. And going to group this one. Okay, the first thing I need to do is we need to get first the group. So it needs to go to get a group. We need to call the lm dot tag dot group. Right, since we have the group of this section here, so call for x. So next, we need to make this dynamic. To do that, we need to assign f so that this value will become dynamic. Okay, that's the first column. The second column is we need to get the column of elements. So to do that, we need to call lm. Let's say go like this. lm dot tag dot element, and with the value of this one. Okay, the next one, going to call the lm.description. Description. Okay, then next one is the lm.vr. And the last one is lm.value. But this value is in numeric, so we need to convert this into string. Okay, that should be it. Save. So now, okay, so we'll test if this works. So we need to type file.py. Okay, so version is there is no such directory. Okay, because it was inside the im folder, so I need to go ing slash. Let's try again. Clear. Okay, so we have an error. Element object has no value vr. Oh, it should be vr. Okay, let's try again. Here, notice we already create our CSV file here because of this command here. It will auto create the file. But for now, since we got error, no values yet. Okay, so but our header is successfully created. Now let's try again. And enter. Okay, so it seems there's no error. Let's go back to our file. There you go. So this is our extract. Notice how the groups work. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. Good. So the first part is okay. Since our first file is workable now, so this time we're going to insert all the image in this folder here, the Dicom file. We're going to insert that in our CSV file here. So to do that, let's say I'll create another file that is file 6.py. Okay, then the next thing we need to do is I just make a new one. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is we need to recreate import PyDicom from as Dicom. We need to import OS for this one, and we're going to import CSV. Okay. Now we need to call the path, which is the data dir. So this is for our Dicom files. Now, since our Dicom files is in img, okay. Now I'm going to call or list down the directory. Let's say I'm going to call the variables as patient equals to OS, and list down our directory, list dir of the data dir. Okay. Now we need to create our CSV. So we need to go with open. File name is file.cs with the property of write as my file. Now we need to write the header. So to do that, I'm going to copy our previous example. I'm going to copy the header. This is our header. Oh, I need to include the write as well. So better this here, and go. So this is now my file. Replace this one here. Okay, good. So now we call our first header. The next thing we need to do is to get the list of this patient here. To do that, we need to call a for loop for patient in, let's make it plural. So this is patients. This will be patients. Okay. I need to press this done. Okay. Now we need to check the folder content. To do that, we need to call the patient that. We need to convert that to lowercase. Then we need to check the end with. So in this portion here, we need to check if all the files is in XCM or the Dicom files extension. So if do, if this is correct, then we need to convert. So let's say dm going to read the Dicom file. So Dicom dot dcmread, and we're going to call the path. We need to call the OS path.join. We need to join the the path. So the first one is I need to call this as the root. Okay, and then we need to slash with the file name. Okay, now what we need to do is we need to get the first example wherein this section here is the one that writes the content. To copy this one here and put it here. Okay, so this is the okay, let's check. Or okay, so in here we need to tap this one here. Okay, now what happened here is that first we need to call a directory, then we list down all the files, then we need to create a new CSV file with the name variable as my file. That is my file. So then we need to create a writer. We need to start the writer here. The next over here is to create a header. Then what we need to do is we call all the files for that patients, the one that we is down here. Now, after calling the name of the file, we need to assign here to read that the path of the file using DCM read. Now, from the previous example, every time it reads, this one will write all the content in the file. So let's check. Need to type file, file 6.py. Hit enter. This should take long because we have around 400 files, I think. We have 451. So we need to wait. Okay, good. Our files already started. But still, we're not done yet. Still reading. So we need to wait a little more. Just ensure that everything is working. Check all of the lines. Okay, seems all the code are okay. Let's wait. This is one thing good with Python. So now it already provides the things that you need. As you remember our previous example, using the Dicom package or the PyDicom, we can extract the content, we can convert into image. Please also check that series. I made also those things. So now the good thing part is we're going to learn in this section here is how to write all those information and convert that into or consolidate that or save that in CSV file. So that's the beauty of this tutorial. Also, there might be a tons of ways how to do this, but for now I just work on the easiest part, the very basic part for you to understand. So we need to wait this a little longer. Hopefully will be finished in time. So while waiting for this one, I'm going to show you something. Remember from the first part, keep waiting. Remember from the first part, I discussed about this one. So please observe. So these are the headers, information of the particular Dicom. So there are some, this one, you need to find a ways how to read it properly. So but others, okay. So if there are outputs that not look good enough, so you can revise the content. You can do some what you can conversion or format on that particular field. But in my code, I already made some of it. I didn't check the rest. Okay, still waiting. So if you happens to see the first part, please check that and how I get this Microdicom Viewer. So use that one. So this is one of the pre-application online. So once you have that, you can see what are the target information that you want to extract. Okay, that's very good. Now we're done. So let's check. Let's check the header. So this is our header, our information. Let's check everything. Okay, good. So let's move here. Okay. So that's it, guys. If you found this video informative, once again, please subscribe and hit the like button. And see you guys on the next video series. Cheers!